Hello and welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. How about the hey guys? I know that the long race was kind of, but the sprint race was phenomenal. You had to give it to it. You
Yeah.
had,
I think both. I
best
think
riders on identical bikes that are near identical, on the best motorcycle that's ever been, right? Duking it out for 10 laps, and they didn't get screwed up on the sprint race. They were hammering it out for a long time.
I will say that like the sprint, to me, the sprint race was more entertaining than the actual race today. But hey, it is what it is. We got
you take the good with the bad. In the main race, they got fouled up at the beginning. It was like, a cluster mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think actually both races were okay. I think.
Oh, they're okay. Yeah.
I thought and it's actually something that came up in a comment yesterday. So I was going to rate it, and then I was like very hungover a bit and didn't really want to rate things. So I think it's more of a message to Dorna that while we are all interested in the front two fighting, once there's a kind of a second or so gap there or whatnot, it is okay to show other riders in the field.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and I watch kind of geek with this. I kind of watch the race on TV, but I also have live timing open. And I watch the timing sectors to see and understand what sort of battles are going on. And there was definitely some good battles today, and there was definitely some good battles yesterday. And we saw fuck all of them on the TV, which I think is if you're going to build the show, like while it's good to see Pecco and Martin fighting, right? Fuck all happening there, a second and a half apart, 2 seconds or whatever it is. There was no threat from any Bastianini, but there was some fucking hunky-dory fucking battles going on behind there. I don't give a shit if it's a battle for fucking 15th place. If there's 4 bikes going for it, like, shit, that's what you want to watch, right? So I think it's something Dorna need to look at for the show. Like, if there's 5 bikes battling at the front, fuck it, stay there. Do you know what I mean? If there's a gap out in the front, leave it go. Now,
I miss Quartararo. I see him so little. You never see Quartararo anymore. It's my favorite rider. I swear to God, he could pull off on the first lap and then come back in and then 3 laps to the end and no one knows this difference. Yeah, you know what I mean? Go in, have a beer, come back out. Because the camera's on them and all.
That's it, and it's just a shame that, and you don't mind it if there's a really intense, close battle at the front, but there wasn't today, or there wasn't yesterday. Like, there was a bit of battling, but kind of that died out. When Mark crashed, really, that died. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing there. No one was going to challenge it. But saying that, right, Pecco. I have the new nickname for Pecco is PeccoBot. Because
he's an alien / robot.
He was just a fucking robot. Like, I don't know if you looked at his lap times, in the segments, like when he was in the 29s, they were all within 0.2 of each other, right? When he was in the 30s, it was all within 0.2 of each other. And you're just like, fuck. How can you deal with that?
Yeah.
Now, on to the point of where,
he's like a metronome.
But he was the crazy thing. I'm kind of glad they kind of showed him a little bit. I mean, we didn't need to see as much as we did, but he was so fast and the bike looked so stable. That was crazy to me that he's getting faster in the lead, and the bike just seemed solid. Like, it's no chatter. I didn't see any chatter. I don't know if you guys saw.
The tires on the back were last year's tires, that heat treated last year medium tires, which are now hard, or whatever it is, or the front. So, but there's a couple of things that I noticed with Pecco, right? Especially coming down into turn 4, he had something on everyone in that sector. Everyone, like, he was pulling 1-2 tenths whenever he wanted. Do you know what I mean? and it was literally it's up the top of the brakes, and you could just, if you watched him breaking down, right, it was just that he set the bike at such an angle that the bike actually, even though it was going downhill, the bike was staying level.
Yeah.
It wasn't dipping forward. It wasn't crunching. It was just, so he was swinging the back of it out just so nicely so that it was, but no one else was doing it. And you could see towards the end when Mark and Bezzecchi were fighting, you could see them trying to move the leg to move the weight forward on the bike. Whereas Pecco actually had the bike swinging a little bit to the rider's left. And you could just see the bike was but he was gaining there. And the second point of where he was gaining and this is where he was making all his lap times, was out of the last corner. As soon as the bike hit the gully, he had it hooked. Do you know what I mean? And he could just drive from that point, where you would see others of them coming through, and you could see the force going through their body and then drive, where he was actually starting the drive just before the gully, and like he was pulling maybe a meter, 2 meters, and now it looks massive on screen, but you could see every time Jorge Martin was trying to get past him coming out of there, Pecco always just pull that extra meter or two from him, and that's where he was doing it. Now, you know, that's fucking super geeky, you know, looking at things back from yesterday, last night and stuff. So, but again, like when and I just rewatched it. I watched it last night, rewatched it last night, and then I watched it in the race, and you could see him just pulling through, which is brilliant. But saying that, it was good to see the two boys having a scrap. You know what I mean? At the start of the race, that there was a no holds barred between the two of them. There was like Jorge Martin knew if he didn't get in front of Pecco and hold Pecco up,
it's over.
He's gone. You know what I mean? And they knew it at the start of they knew it at the start of from the Friday. Like they saw his pace. Martin.
Not to interrupt, but the curiosity. What happened to Martin in practice? The last practice before the race, the last free practice. Like everybody was up first, second, third, fourth. He was like 20th.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't actually watch.
Yeah, I didn't watch that race. I missed that one. So like 2:00 in the morning or something. I went, where is he? Where is he? I thought, oh shit, he crashed, right? And then 20th. Like, is that you know?
Yeah,
I heard somebody whispered it. He had injury.
Saying that it's just like this morning in warm up, and I was waiting for the Mark Marquez people. So he was fastest in warm up this morning. I don't know, do you know? But I think actually Friday night and into Saturday and Saturday into Sunday, they had torrential downpours there. Like I saw clips of the paddock.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
And so, like, I knew going to bed last night when I was watching the thing, I was like, well, none of them are going to go out and go for it on a very washed green track in the morning. Like, you know what I mean? And I remember, like, you know, on when they go out in that warm up, there's no other ones warming up there. Do you know what I mean? So it's green, the track being washed away with all the rubber being washed away.
No one goes balls to the wall that session anyway. You know what I mean? That's that last tune-up before the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's you see, it's not even relevant anymore, you see, because when you look at it, right, how to say, when you look at it, it's so early in the morning. The track temperatures are nowhere near where they're going to be in the afternoon. So any data that they have there for the race, gone. It's no point. Do you know what I mean? Like if you look at it, it was 13 or 14 degrees this morning, and it was 26 degrees air temperature when they raced this afternoon. So, you know, that 10 degrees, that's a complete different tire compound. Do you know what I mean?
And what the hell happened to his thumb? I'm sorry, it was tore to shit. They said he had it in the bathroom. Right now, hold a second, guys. We're all young. You know, we had our threesomes, foursomes, and moresomes. You know, and he likes to party, but we never tore the shit out of our body parts. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the little guy, and the girls just beat the hell out of him or something.
Yeah, I do. I did know a football player that dropped a bottle of aftershave across his toe in the shower on the morning of a match. The coach was like, "Why are you putting aftershave on? You're going to play in a match." So, look, strange things do happen. Don't know what, like, it's there's a little bit of stuff around that as well, because he said, Gino Borsoi said that it happened on Friday, and Martin said it happened on Thursday. So I don't know. Look, it was on the inner part of the thumb, so there is definitely a big shout out he's deserved. You know what I mean? For fucking riding, because it definitely wasn't an easy thing to do. As you know, like that circuit with all the heavy braking, I'm sure you're pushing into that wound and you're fucking like every brake. You know what I mean? So every time
you think that cost him? Did that cost him 2/10?
I don't think it cost him 2/10, right? Like I think towards the end of the race, as he was on his own, it started to hurt. Do you know what I mean? When he was battling with Pecco for those couple of laps, it didn't fucking hurt at all. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like it was. I think, but saying that, I genuinely think he did a really, really good job. Bastianini, a little bit subdued with Bastianini. Like, we're always there. Like, fuck it, if he qualifies well or if he gets a good start, he'd be there. And for me, he just did fucking nothing. Not that he did nothing, right? He just had nothing for the lads, and I was just like, oh well, fucking anyway. Do you know what I mean? But
he was fast. His times were okay, I think.
His times were okay, but I think Marquez would have had him. Marquez definitely would have had him if Marquez didn't have the issue. Which I find weird. We'll get onto Marquez in a second, but I find it weird though. But maybe it is the fact that I went back to the old tire that maybe it just didn't suit him. Do you know what I mean? So that he had it, because normally towards the end, like, I was waiting kind of like 12 laps to go, and I was waiting for, like, okay, he's gonna shoot in there now and pull 4/10, 5/10 out, and nothing, so I think he just didn't get on with the tire. Just my 2 cents. Marc Marquez, I think he did brilliant this weekend, except for the only thing that I give out to him for is the crash. Like, that crash shouldn't have fucking happened. Like, do you know what I mean?
Seemed like he lost the front or something. You talking about on the sprint, right?
The sprint, yeah. I think that's the only foul up, like, for him.
He was pushing real hard. That crash, I thought, he's pushing that hard. He was making 4/10 on Pecco, and he crashed. So
you make 4/10s, but, like, come on, every single fucking one of us in this planet knows you might gain 4/10 of a second on Pecco this lap. You won't get it the next lap. He's out the front.
No, I think they said he had him for the last. He made 4/10 of a section for.
No. He was 2/10, then he went 3/10.
Okay.
And then you're like, but at all times you could see Pecco was like, okay, well, I'm not going to worry till the gap is a second.
Okay.
Yeah. And at this stage, like, you knew from the way he was battling with Martin that Pecco had something. Do you know what I mean? That he was comfortable. So, but
Marquez did a hell of a race this weekend.
Yeah, today's race I think was probably one of his best races.
I think it was his very best. Yeah.
I would be fair in it. Like I don't know, and we still don't know yet whether. I suppose we'll never really know. Don't know was there a mechanical problem why he couldn't get it into the right height. Like, it's very weird that the front and rear wouldn't go down. Do you know what I mean? You kind of say
both of them. I thought it was just the rear.
No, front and rear. You could if you watch the race start again, and it's actually kind of funny because you'll see the distance between the fender and the air intake on Mark's bike is about 6 inches, right? And Pecco next to him then is nothing. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you're like, okay, the bike is like 4 inches lower on the ground. Do you know what I mean? Now, and like Morbidelli coming past him.
He just got sandwiched. It looked like he just got squeezed.
He did, but like you see, again, this is the danger when the technology doesn't work, right? Because Mark was being, it would be fair. How he got around the corner, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Without someone fucking crashing, because you have to think when those bikes are sitting down, right? And they have realistically, they have no suspension.
No.
Right? You can't just fucking turn the wheel and it turns, right? Because it won't fucking turn.
Nope.
You know, and they're fucking accelerating at that speed. And let's be also fair, that track, they all know that they can go about 40 feet outside the actual corner and not be penalized, right? There was no one actually aiming from like 2 rows back. We're actually aiming to actually stay on the track on the turn 1. You know what I mean? They were going to go wide and use the sprint off. So how Mark even got through that was impressive. Do you know what I mean? And you know, like you can say it. You know, Morbidelli went off with them and came back on maybe a bike or two's length behind him, and you could see the difference between Mark attacking and Morbidelli's riding. Do you know what I mean? Mark was brilliant in coming back through the field. But, you know, as he was coming back through the field, you knew he was using too much tire. You know what I mean? You just knew that it was just like he's kind of accepted that maybe, you know, third or fourth would be it. And this was kind of the thing that I kind of thought yesterday that he probably should have done in the sprint, is just like Pecco's 1.4, 1.7 seconds ahead of me. There's 7 laps to go. I'm not going to get him. Do you know what I mean?
I'm surprised he got up as far as he did.
You know, and yeah. No, I would, like, if you looked at it, right, he had the 2 Aprilias ahead of him, right, which were going to go backwards. Jack was always going to go backwards. Do you know what I mean? So there was 4, maybe 5 bikes ahead of him that would be, how would they call it? Be easy victims. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But still saying that he rode a great race to get back to 4th, but you know, he just took too much tire. And Enia Bastianini, who I thought was saving tire, as Richard, you know, you know, he was never going to get him anyway. So, but saying that, if Mark did get off the line well, I think it would have been a really good battle between himself and Enia. And I would probably
close,
I would have probably thought Mark would have been on the podium, if I'm honest.
Right. I think that's why he was so mad. Like in the garage, he just went back to the garage, didn't say much to anybody, took his helmet off, and just was like, it seemed like he was pissed to me, because you know he normally takes his helmet when he has a good race. He takes his helmet off, he's smiling, hugging you know, shaking people's hands, But you didn't see any of that today, so he's pissed.
I thought he was just warm going through the pack. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of work.
He hit Jack Miller's tire with his elbow. I was like, what the hell? Like, and he just kept going like nothing happened. I was like, these guys are they still human? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Look, it's something crazy that they do, and like, I think it was a really positive race from Mark. You know, it would be interesting in the next race how he gets on when they go back to the 2024 tire, you know, because the tires that they had on were pre-heat cycled tires. Do you know what I mean? So, because of the acceleration and the braking, it was brought the special tire, which is from last year. So, be interesting though to see can he keep it up now, or is it that the fact that the tire doesn't suit? Now, just to go into something, everyone's going on still about the 24 bike and this, that, and the other. And Pecco came out the other day, and I thought it was probably one of the best statements that he came out with. And he said, the 24 bike feels better than the 23, but it's nothing like the 22.
Okay.
So basically, what Pecco is saying is that if they can mimic the characteristics of how the 22 handled with the whatever technology they have now, it would be far, far better. But it doesn't handle. The 24 doesn't even handle as good as the 22.
23 or 22. Okay.
Yeah. So
and
it's
we
hard
know to tell. It seems like everybody that's on it, like looking at the times, everybody that was on a Ducati was in 1.3, 1.30 or 1.29. So the only other person that wasn't
was
on the Ducati, yeah, but I was gonna say Acosta hit a 1.29, but he's in the back. So
yeah. But look, no, I think, but it's just funny is that, like, you know, people are talking about how much faster the 24 is, and like you have Pecco then turning around saying, yeah, but it's not like the 22. I put those tires on the 22 now, and I reckon Pecco reckons that it will be as fast. Now, because remember, the tires have made a massive difference this year. You know, like race times don't increase by 30 seconds that often.
That's his baby, though. That's his first. That's the.
No, it wasn't his first.
Up into his first title, he might have a little bit of emotional tie to that too.
No, because we did see the 22 beat the 23 in the later half of last season.
With not Renz.
Antonio, yeah.
But you never judge. I never judge something off a one-off ride. You know.
No, I did it twice.
Right, twice.
You know, if you know, no, but I think other riders beat Pecco on the 23 with the 22 as well. So, look, and then that's why you're seeing so many people struggle off the 22 to the 23. You know, so look, it's one of those things. Brad Binder, I thought had a really, really good race as well. You know, he definitely had to fucking fight for it, man. Like, he is just.
What's with him? As soon as he doesn't have a ride, he goes faster.
Who, Binder does have a ride?
No, he thought you said Jack. No, Binder. Binder is I don't know, man. It's just not. We see it. I expected them to be fast here, but it's like every other track. It's like I don't know. It's like you don't see anything else almost.
So it's like, you know, it is interesting to know that KTM had recently tested there, and they were quite far off the pace. Is a little bit weird for me, I suppose.
Right.
You know, because like I know Danny and them were out there, so I don't know.
I wish he would have saw him. I wish he could have saw Danny riding this weekend.
I don't think Paul did a bad job, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think he could have obviously maybe could have done a bit better, but I don't think he.
He said, "What's that?"
I didn't think he was. I thought he did better than I thought. I thought he was going to do.
Paul, yeah.
Who, Binder? Paul?
No, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did better than I thought, but he passed my expectations.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I don't think he did a bad job. You know, I just don't think he would be at that level for every race. Do you know what I mean? I think when you're doing one-offs and such, you know, you can come in full of piss and vinegar, as you call it, Jake, and you can fly. But Marco Bezzecchi, I think he did a good race as well today, and had kind of quite a solid weekend overall. Again, it's going to be interesting. He was back on 23 rubber. He's put in probably his strongest race weekend. Will that last at the next race? Be very, very interesting to see. But looking at the front of the bikes, and I was laughing at the thing there during the week where Gigi was out and he was saying, "Oh, we're going to develop the 23 as much as possible." I was like, they're just going to give him the 23B. Gigi, you know, it's like, It's like, come on, for fuck's sake! Like, do you know what I mean?
It sounds a lot better than I'm just giving it the B model.
Yeah. And they do have the new winglets on the bikes now. No one is really mentioning that, but if you look at Mark's front wheel today and you look at his downward ducts, they're different from the ones that he started with. So he definitely has them. So does Bezzecchi. And remember, that bike, it transformed for Pecco's riding style last year. Do you remember? After the summer break, he came out with that.
I was gonna say, I know we just to backtrack a little bit, but I saw KTM had some wings on their swing arm. I was like, what's the point? As pole, yeah, but I'm like, are you guys just throwing wings on everything? Like,
some of it, yeah, it seemed like it wasn't attached, like it's loosey goosey.
No.
How effective can it be? You know,
right?
I mean?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So it is actually very effective.
Okay.
So
like attack
if you look at it, right, and those okay, so the shape of it, firstly, right, it is reducing drag on the rear wheels, like the front wheel covers and stuff like that. You would have seen those in Formula 1, but you'd also seen them here. That Ducati used to run them, actually. So it cleans up the air around the chain and sprocket area and the brake disc area, right? So from air being sucked in, so reduces drag. Then you will see also where his number, where Pole's little number was, there's actually a little aerofoil within that, a wing within that, right? And again, this goes back to tightening up the regulations, right? There is actually no regulation around the wheel. Do you know what I mean? You can fucking put, if you want to put it 4 meters wide, you can fucking put it 4 meters wide. You just can't turn, right? So, but apparently it does. It is better in the heavy traction zones of getting more traction.
Okay.
Downwards, but it also clears up the thing, and like you'll see the jagged edges of it. That is actually for aerodynamics. That helps then, so that when the air comes in and it slides off the back, rather than it just cuts off at the back and creates a vortex. It literally slides down and comes off and it goes smoothly out into the air. So while it does look like someone has a fucking saw on the back of the fucking swing,
you ever see salad tongue coming at you? You know what I mean? You're going behind it.
That is actually just to reattach the air.
Okay.
Better. So look, like it was fairly interesting. But again, it's fucking ridiculous. It's one more thing to fall off,
Right? Yeah, it can, fall off and puncture somebody's tire or whatever.
Well, yeah, sharp bit of carbon coming straight back at you.
That I don't worry about. But as long as it's useful, as long as it has point to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw some guys were running the. You ever see the test runs? Did you see who was running the test thing off the back?
Oh, the grills, yeah.
KTM, the test thing. I swore they were in practice and they were running the test thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were running the race. I was like,
well,
they do that in Formula 1.
You can run it. You can run it in practice, an aerofoil, yeah, and not in official practice, but like in a test session, you can run it. And look, it's good. It's monitoring the air pressure behind the device that you're trying to use. So for me, it's makes an awful lot of sense to be testing it. You know what I mean? Rather than like Polo Spagro says, it helps with traction, but Polo Spagro was fucking way behind the boys. The two factory boys,
remind me of like Indians when they're doing their dance and they have those they're hold up the beads or whatever the hell they're doing, run around a circle.
Yeah, it was kind of like a fucking weird thing, but anyway. The poor Aprilias, I actually felt sorry for them this weekend. they knew at the start of the weekend the medium tire, which they were going to need to run in the race, wasn't going to work for them. They did well in the sprint. Like Paul Espargaro did far better than I thought. I thought he was going to come backwards. He did well, or not Paul Espargaro. Aleix Espargaro did really well. I thought he was going to come backwards. He didn't. He stuck it out in the sprint, but he fucking dropped like a stone in the thing once the mediums were on.
I still say, but they need a rider. That's their biggest thing. They need a good.
Yeah, they do, and like a lot of people are still shocked that Agura is going to go to Trackhouse. I'm not so shocked. Like Agura has somewhat fallen out with Honda. I won't say completely fallen out, but he's refused to go to MotoGP twice with them now. So he was offered last year.
To Honda?
To Honda. He was offered the Honda and he said no last year. So Nakagami got the ride. And he was offered the Honda again this year. And now you have to remember, right? Like the Indomitsu team in Honda is for a Japanese rider. Okay, our Indomitsu sponsored bike is for a Japanese rider. They obviously have an Indomitsu Moto 2 team as well. Do you know what I mean? And all of this. But Agura left them last year to go to another team. Right?
The Japanese stick together like shit in a border house blanket.
So for me, there was already a bit of a falling out there, and they offered it by chance. Do you want to do it? And he said no. And now they're going to go with what's it, Chantra or something?
Oh yeah, Chantra, yeah.
So, but it wasn't a surprise to me that he got the Trackhouse Racing, and they did do an interview with the head of Trackhouse Racing, not Davide Bravio, the actual owner. And he was like, yeah, we're kind of more into bringing someone from grassroots level through the thing, not. So what it said to me is that we're not really interested in Joe Roberts. Joe Roberts is kind of a finished product or so now, in the way of like he's
trying to say he didn't have any more potential left.
Maybe, or else it's like that they can't be putting him in there is not really the American story. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, because Monster Energy and what's his name?
See Top Rat going in there. That would be a good American story in there.
Yeah, he's not a what's this guy's name? Nicky Hayden. He's not a Nicky Hayden.
Exactly. And like, as much as I do like Joe Roberts, and I still said it, one good season, like it doesn't. One half good season doesn't make you.
It's not enough,
And
I like Joe Roberts. I don't want anybody to be like, I'm hating on him. I like Joe Roberts. So.
I don't know him to trip over. So,
but no, look, I just think he needs to maybe earn it a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's been in Moto 2, 3 or 4, maybe 4 seasons now. 3, I can't remember. Like I know he was with American Racing. He left and he went to another one, Ultron. I can't remember. Had an absolute fucking pig of a season with them and then came back, so you've been there and now you're only starting getting towards the front, and look, Agura is higher than him in the championship, right? So by nature. And now saying that, then Agura goes and he fucking breaks his bone in his hand in first practice on Friday and doesn't take part in the weekend. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Pedro Acosta, my fuck. Yeah, no, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and I'm very surprised at Hervé Pancherel. Like, really, really surprised that shit happened under Herv's watch, Like, Herv is very, very, very good with young riders and keeping them, calming them down and whatever. Like he crashed. All right. He lost the aero. He lost about 20 degrees on his thing. He knew he was on hard tires and he pushing like a motherfucker again. Do you know what I mean? As soon as he pressed the brakes, front wheel locked, smashed him into the ground at 300 kilometers an hour. Very, very lucky boy. And then he goes out and he crashes again. And like, you know, and you're just like,
what do you think Pontrell is supposed to do? I mean, if the kid jumps back on the bike and takes off, I mean,
yeah, but he went out and crashed again. You know what I mean? And again,
I didn't see any of that. Did he go into the pits and go out?
No. He crashed in the chicane, and then he kept the bike going, right? And he crashed again at high speed, right? But he had another crash. I think he had 4 big crashes on the Friday. Do you know what I mean? And like, one of those it was either before or after, but again, it's just, you're just kind of like, and Hervey even said it in an interview, and he was like, you know, we need to kind of cuddle him a bit more and be like, you know, relax, calm down. But again, like what Herv said was that he was feeling the pressure this weekend to perform at home.
Yeah, but that's part of that kid's mantra, you know what I mean? Or his makeup.
It is, but
I don't think you want that out of that kid.
No.
What can you do with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think someone like that, like he is he's going to turn into Marquez very quickly. You know,
I think he'll turn into Marquez or not. It's going to be one of the two.
I don't know. I think he'll turn it if someone does and have a word with him and be like, you need to think a bit. You know,
I mean, he wasn't seriously. I mean, he wasn't seriously injured as far as my knowledge. So I'm kind of like, you know, he's on that line. He's on that line to maybe he could get injured seriously. You know, we don't. You know,
I'll tell you what they could do is make the bike better, so he isn't in a more Honda situation where he's always trying to make up for the bike. That I can see him trying to do. Yeah.
Right.
But see, he doesn't. Well, the other side of the coin, he doesn't know any different. Like
he doesn't know any different. He doesn't know if it's good, bad, or different if he's on that bike.
Exactly. So you know, when you say make it better, you know, he when you say make it better, he doesn't particularly know how to make it better yet. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of weird, but I do worry that if he's not kind of pulled in a small bit and said, "Listen, what are you feeling pressure for? You don't need to feel pressure. You're a rookie." You know, and that's the conversation.
He's done that. I can't believe he wouldn't do that and say, "Listen," I'm sure he went over that probably 20 times. But he said, "Listen, this is your rookie year. This is the time to learn. This is this is your year to do this. It ain't coming again because next year they're going to want you up and ready and rocking and rolling."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like next year, he's going to have much more pressure, much more pressure in the main factory team. And also, like himself and Mark are now toe-to-toe in most crashes so far this season.
Huh.
They're both on 16. And remember, Mark last year had 22.
Like, are these guys made of rubber or something? You know,
the painkillers. I have a conspiracy theory about that too.
Too much. They only do so well, you know.
I have a theory about the crashes and painkillers and surgeries. That has to slow you down. There is no way you can go through all that and still be at your top level. There is no way. You're still human. These guys are still human. You know.
This is how painkillers work. You have when you grab something. Pain is how many. If you have how many charges impulses go to your brain a second? Say it's 90 is the normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you'll pass out at 180. Okay, if it goes up that high because of the pain, if you cut yourself, it's enough for bust yourself up, and they'll pass out at 180 pulses, right?
Right.
And the speed of the impulse is what makes you have pain. Now, if you cut it down, if the opioids cut it down to 90 again, okay, you won't feel anything. It doesn't slow your reflexes. It doesn't. It's just like not having it. That's why you can get addicted to painkillers without getting high. You could be normally like all of a sudden.
So you're saying his tolerance is high. And so
then their tolerances get higher and higher. They can't keep doing it. Got to jump off.
I was watching, and I was watching.
Do not drop. I can tell you, it's an odd thing.
There, you're true.
It's not like booze.
It's not always painkillers though. It's and that's the dangerous. It's the dangerous thing. It's like, I was watching a documentary on cheating at the Olympics.
Hey,
right, and and your man was just saying. So he's like, literally, a person will come in. They're like, look, I want to put on muscle here, 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 and here. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, all right, okay, and a lot of the stuff that USADA and all of these ones weren't testing for. And he's like, there's this stuff called the clear, which is like fucking a drop under your tongue, not detectable. Do you know what I mean? We can also put some of that stuff into a cream, so you can put it onto the thing with steroids into the muscles to help the recovery of those muscles. Again, not tested for USADA. Right. And I'm not saying people in MotoGP are doing this or anything like that, but that technology is out there that they know what the sporting regulations are and anti-doping tests for MotoGP. It is not beyond the realms of possibility that people can get access to custom-built steroids, and it's frightening.
What the weird thing is? A myth about steroids is the antibiotics. It doesn't give you more wind. It doesn't give you more endurance. Okay, there are stuff that does give you more endurance, where your body absorbs more oxygen. All right, but steroids actually take wind away from you. It'll give you strength. Okay, but that strength is you'll lose your endurance quicker.
Your lactic acid grows faster or something like that, I think. But yeah, look, and I'm not saying at all in any way, shape, or form that anyone in MotoGP, I think, but there is places out there where you're seeing people, and especially like the runners and this, that, and the other, doing amazing feats, and then you have these guys coming on and saying, "Listen, right, Joe Bloggs over here wanted to be a clean athlete, and then he got into the 9-second group." And then he realized when he was in the 9-second group that they're all fucking on something.
Yeah.
And then it's not cheating. It's becoming, okay, well, I have to do this to stay with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you what they do. They do the steroids, and then they take this stuff that gives you more oxygen. Every time you breathe in, instead of absorbing, say you absorb 1 gram per 1,000 grams, okay? All of a sudden you're grabbing out of the air, 4 grams, 4 times as much oxygen into your bloodstream. Now you don't have that winding problem. Okay.
Yeah, and it helps.
Now you have the endurance and you have the strength, and then boom, you're off like a
But anyway, back to, I suppose, to MotoGP stuff, and not people with cheating and the thing. I'm going to say this. Are you ready, Jake?
Yeah, I know it's coming to me. When he says, "I know I'm going to say this."
That's what that means. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Honda won the Japanese Cup today.
Oh, you're kidding me!
They did.
Just for one day, though.
It's all right. They won it once.
Yeah.
Taka Nakagami, take a bow. Now, saying that, right? This is the thing, right?
Oh, so he was the lead man. He's the lead guy.
He was. What did he finish? Taka Nakagami finished.
But they say
he finished 14th, so he got 2 points. He's probably lead Honda now. Actually, you're right. But he finished. Taka Nakagami was 36 seconds behind Pecco, and Quartararo was 43. So that's 9 seconds. So it's only 3 seconds ish for a long lap penalty.
I was gonna say he had a long lap. I don't. If he didn't have that long lap, he may have been.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's only like 3.5 seconds max for the long lap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah.
So maybe it could have been actually. I'll have to go and check the thing. The thing now.
The old expression is: you flip a coin long enough, it's going to fall on its edge. You know what I mean? They had to win someone.
Will you just say, look, fair play, Honda, you won it once.
If you won it once, I'll give them that.
Just say it.
Once, good job.
Right.
No, but
now
look, the Honda, I don't know. Look, this track is kind of one of those ones where it masks an awful lot of stuff, right? Because because every like was it like 15th or 16th or whatever, like it was covered by just 1 second. Do you know what I mean? In the practices and qualifying and stuff like that.
By the way, I want to say something. I don't mind Honda winning as long as they don't have to have concessions and they're not banning other people's tech and everything else. If they win on I'll be happy to do backflips if they win on a level playing field.
I really want Honda to win now that you said you're going to do a backflip. Can I record that?
Yeah, that would be a side. That try something else.
Yeah, we'll get you plenty of steroids for after.
I'll have to have my own gorilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get plenty of steroids for after. But no, look, I thought, to be fair to them, I was a little bit more positive because I saw Honda there at one stage. And I think it was like 10th place in one of the time in the practice sessions. I was like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and no, he went back a small bit, and I think he ended up at 15th or something. But I was like, that's not bad for a practice session for a Honda. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it was a terrible race weekend for all Japanese manufacturers. Like,
you know what? All kidding aside, when I would love to see you put out a one video to ask our members, when does it end? When I say when does it end, when is it when they just when they keep failing? When do you stop the concessions? When do you stop the hindering other manufacturers? When do you stop giving this welfare out to the Japanese?
It's not going to end because look, I think you're being a.
I mean, when do you have a level playing field where everybody's?
But it's not a level playing field. Like even with it, when you look at KTM and Aprilia, it's not a level playing field. Like they have more. Wait. But when we can't just name the Japanese in the concessions, right? Because Aprilia and
it's what you know that
they do. They have more tires. They have more tires to test.
How many?
Huh?
10?
Well,
10? They get 10 more tires, some ridiculous thing. That's to make it look good. Come on.
No, yeah, but that's like 300-400 laps.
Oh, gee, willikers, that'll just switch everything around. Yeah.
It will. Fucking, I'm telling you, it will.
Oh, come on, you actually believe the bullshit you're flinging right there, Mac?
No, I don't think it's bullshit. I think if you're talking about a level playing field, then level it. You know?
Yeah, true.
But all I'm saying is it's not just the Japanese have it.
Hey, when BMW got the thing in World Superbike, I came out and said, "Hello, they shouldn't have got it either." The frame modifications.
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
But that's it. Like, but my thought is on it is like, it's not just Japanese get it. Like there is Europeans have it, and they have like I again.
It is just for show, though. You got to. I mean, it is for show in that case. They don't give it.
Definitely for show.
Yeah, but look, realistically, I don't see the Japanese catching up this year.
I just can't believe they're back that far. Do you?
And I don't see Aprilia or KTM catching Ducati by the end of the season either.
I could see Aprilia coming up there too.
I can't see it. Not on these numbers. Not on these Ducati numbers they're doing. They're like a second. They're a second faster, maybe two.
I'd say 2 years that Aprilia is right there with Ducati.
But sure, 2 years time. 2 years time, we're into the 27.
That's 2027. It's a whole different.
And then everyone gets concessions again.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, then everybody's
until the first year. Until the first year, and then they regrade everyone. Then again, like if you look at it, right, Ducati is in class A, right? B, there's no one. C, there's Aprilia and thing. D is Yamaha and Honda. Like I would argue, points will say difference, right? But I would argue that Aprilia should be in B minimum. They shouldn't be in C, Group C, with those concessions, because Group A.
It's hard to say they should be anywhere because I don't believe in the whole thing. But anyhow, good.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. Is like if concessions were going to work, Like realistically, if we took Ducatis out of the championship, completely.
Okay.
Maverick Vinales at mid-season, Maverick Vinales was leading the championship. So why is that group in Group C rather than B? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
they're judging it. They're judging it off of the they're judging it off of the manufacturer, not the rider. Because without like, if you put an average guy on an Aprilia, would they be as far ahead as they are?
Yeah, but see what they're doing is they're looking at the likes of Ducati and the manufacturer points that Ducati are scoring, and then they're saying what's the percentage of that. So is it like 20%, 50%, whatever? Both, like, because remember at the midpoint of the season they have an opportunity to move someone between the grades, right? And they didn't, obviously, right? Because Aprilia are similar to KTM in points wise behind it. But if you look at the technology in the Aprilia bike,
and what's why I said that when does it end? Because there's grumblings, right? It's from a good source, from David Emmett. You know who David Emmett is, right? He's been around forever. He's a good source. David Emmett from Moto Matters. He's been around forever and ever. They're grumbling like they think Ducati's going to win in 2027 still.
Oh yeah,
then you think, well, when do you end? You know, they think they're saying it's going to be the same situation in 27 and 28. I'm like, Jesus Christ, when do you end? And I think they'll pull themselves up by their bootstraps without help. You know, necessity is the mother of invention. I don't think it's good for them. Just like raising a kid, you don't want to give him the silver spoon all the time. I think they're giving Honda and Yamaha the silver spoon.
But I would disagree. I think they're giving the other four. I think they're giving four manufacturers. All right, my some are getting a silver spoon, some are getting a bronze spoon. Do you know what I mean? And the people that are actually doing the job, as in Ducati, are getting fucking nothing. Do you know what I mean?
They're getting the shit.
Do you know what I mean? But this is my point, and I said this 2 months ago. Ducati have pushed for the 850. Right?
Yeah, we haven't figured out why yet.
Gigi has something.
He has a card up his sleeve.
He fucking has something, right? And do I expect Ducati to win? I expect Ducati midpoint next season, or maybe midpoint next season, to stop the development of the GP25 and to go flat out for the GP27.
Oh God! But you know what? No one wants it. No one wants these 27 regulations other than the MotoGP commercial, the MotoGP.com commercial. I mean, Christ, you ever hear the feedback on this? You have hundreds of people going bullshit through the whole,
Yeah. Look, could they have done it better? Probably. Could they have put the fans in the center of it and said, what do you want to look at? Yeah. Like, I don't necessarily agree slowing down the technology is the way to go. But I think there was more of a collective in it. Regardless of what happens, the manufacturers and Dorna have committed to it, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Like, I will be very honest with you, many years, and I'm still this way, right? I absolutely fucking hate that we went from a V10 engine in Formula 1 to a V8 to now a V6 turbo hybrid that you can hear the tires screeching over the engine revving, right? All right, and I can tell you what has happened in that time, right, is people that were the real Formula 1 fans is what I would call them, because Formula 1 there is the glitz and the glamour and all of that, but kind of more realistic Formula 1 fans were the people that were just loved the actual sport. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And those have died out, and it's now come a fucking yuppie. Oh, I need to be seen at the Miami Grand Prix or the Vegas Grand Prix, and and what color is the Ferrari? I had a can of Red Bull once, and all this fucking shit, right? I never realized they made a car. You know,
Well, you know what flipped me out? I had a unbelievable path. This girl took me there to the NASCAR. I couldn't get all these hillbillies. They know what every rider's, if they wear Hanes underwear or Fruit of the Loom, but they didn't know what engine size was. I said, "What's the cubic inches on those?" I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You're a fucking hillbilly NASCAR nut. They have no idea of the tech specs of anything. I was shocked.
Yeah. Look, that doesn't right, but they're decided they're just
Billy Bob's has for what kind of Wheaties he's got, chewing in the morning.
Yeah, but they're at a racetrack then every weekend paying their $80
Yeah, they are. Gotta give them that. Yep.
Sitting at the race thing, and like all they give a shit is, hey, number 42 is with him. Yeah. Oh, he's turning left. You're right.
Right.
What was the secret of you winning your race today? I was turning left. Yeah.
Left.
Yeah. So, but look, those are the genuine old soaps that you want in the side of the racetrack, right?
Mm-hmm.
You killed Billy Bob. That was my own personal one.
But I suppose there is things, right? Like we did see it, fucking did see it, and the likes of Austria is a perfect example of it. My comments in last week's thing, right? You do not want to crash at that racetrack. You crash at that racetrack, it's going to be fast, right? Yep. And I can fucking tell you, if Pedro Acosta was 10 meters further when he would have skittled across the fucking gravel trap and into the tires.
Yep.
And that is, so I can understand some points of it, right? But saying that, do I agree with the engine change? No. I think they could have just dumbed down the engine or reduced the horsepower or done something, keep the fucking noise there. Do you know what I mean? And lads, I will challenge anyone, right? Go and listen to, like, I remember going to Nürburgring in 2005, right? Turn 1, right? And I remember Christian Albers came over the top of the hill in a fucking V10, right? My fucking ears were ringing for about 3 days. Do you know what I mean? I could hear gear shifts. I could hear. I was at home in Ireland and I could still hear the gear shifts in my fucking. It was fucking ringing, right? Mm-hmm. You go to one now, a car comes around the corner here. You can't even fart at the start of the race because people will hear it.
That's crazy.
And that's your fart, not the race.
Oh, I tried watching the electric.
Moto E.
Yeah,
it was a good race.
It wasn't. It was a good
funny.
race. It was
funny.
It was funny. Yeah, there's no sound to it, and
exactly.
Well, there's passing. It's all who has the bigger balls because they just outbreak each other. Who outbreaks the other guy? You know what I mean? The skill level gets dropped down about 5 notches because it's just who has the biggest balls going around the corner.
What's wrong with that type racing?
I was going to say,
go left.
Would you rather see that type of racing or
no? Because the regular, like you had the sprint race today. You had to have skill, but you had to maneuver around guys, and there's a lot. It's you have to have a higher level.
But there is a skill to it, Jake. Right? That you're probably not watching, right? And that is like,
I know the drafting skills. Yes.
But you have drafting and how to make sure that they're trying to keep their corner speed up, so that when they're going back on the thing that they're not using battery. So it's a different type of racing that you're doing, right? So you're not going to see these guys coming through the corner, right?
Drafting, yeah.
And then blasting onto the throttle. They're trying to use as little throttle coming out of the corner to save the battery. So it's.
Oh God! That was the other thing. When they come around the corner, instead of here, boom, you go. It's like, and they're slow as shit. As soon as you get out of the corner, they're slow as shit. They're like,
yeah, but they're 200. They're 200 odd fucking kilos of a bike. Like, do you know what I mean? Of course, it's going to be. But I thought it was a great race because I understand what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like what you're trying to do. Let's just say your battery is 20 kilowatts, right? and you use a kilowatt a lap, right? Just say, right, and you're racing for 20 laps, right? You have just enough energy to get there. So what you're trying to do for the first 15 or 16 laps is if you can save like 0.2 of a kilowatt every lap, right? Your fucking last lap is going to be fucking epic. Like you're going to fucking hate the fellas in front of you. And that's what's kind of what it is. So the lads are going in, they're braking hard, do you know what I mean? And regen is not there on them yet, but regen will come, right? Where you can regenerate energy back into the battery from your brake system, right? The cars have it nowadays, but
Like hybrid system.
No. It's actually just direct, so it takes it back through the motor and back into it. It's interesting stuff for nerds. But again, it's just a different type of rate. Like if you looked at the MotoGP bikes this morning going out to do their lap to the grid, did any of you see that?
Mm-mm.
I could have walked faster.
Yeah.
I could have walked faster. Polo Spagro was slipstreaming Jack Miller at like 11 or 12 mile an hour. They were trying to save fuel because you can't refuel the bikes.
I remember they were saying that they ran. Pecco ran out of fuel on Q2.
In Q2, yeah, but he had 3 laps done. Like, do you know what I mean? So he was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look, you only fuel them for a thing, but anyway, like that's what it is, because like that circuit, 80% of it, you're fucking wide open on the gas or you're accelerating hard. It's a thirsty circuit. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, it's interesting. I thought though, you know, all in all, I thought it wasn't a bad race weekend. I was kind of happy with it to see where it's going. I am worried about Acosta. He's in a slump now. And I think real manners have been put on him this weekend. Like, I don't mind having a fella crashing 4 times, low sides, and this, that, and the other. That's his crash at 300 kilometers an hour the other day. We were fucking haunted. Nothing happened to him. Like, do you know what I mean? That bike went into the thing and sprung out and hit him. Dead. Do you know what I mean? It's just, and it was.
Now, we can see that was a really bad accident, but to other people, it didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
We were just skimming across the thing.
Yeah.
You and I were like, "Whoa, holy shit!"
And he even said it after. He's like, "I was very lucky in that one." Do you know what I mean? He's like, "I know, I was really lucky in that one." And like,
kids don't usually say that because they don't comprehend it.
Yeah.
They're not young.
No, it was a lot of people were blaming the aero, and it was nothing to do with aero. Now he did have no aero on that side, and he was leaning that way. But what actually it was that he had the hard front tire on. He crashed into the thing. He crashed in the chicane, and then when he came up to, I think he did 1 lap, and then he came out of it again.
God, can't get rid of that chicane. No one wants it. No one likes it. They threw it on there.
Fuck it. You can't have what happened. Remember with Morbidelli and Zarco, you can't have that again. Like, so it's either put in the chicane there, get rid of the race.
Well, I mean, I don't mean take it out again and put it back to original. I'm saying put another type of chicane in there, something different. You know?
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe different options they could use there that wouldn't be as so. You know, Christ, we got guys. You know, half the field's crashing through the chicane.
Yeah. Well, that's because the track is just so dirty because it's not used. Do you know what I mean? Majority of the time.
The first thing you do is crash at the chicane and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, because like it's not going to get any cleaner, and then you have the problem as well within that chicane is that when you come through, say the first part of the chicane and you join, it's quite close to where the original track is, and same with the exit. When you're crossing over the tarmac, do you know what I mean? They're losing grip there as well, and you can see it at some points that the front just goes just on that transition between one side of the tarmac and the other. So, look, it's not
said that they thought that it should go from, and they had a track guy there saying it goes the wrong direction, like it goes from right to left, and it should go from left to right, or vice versa. You know?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's not an ideal chicane there, to be honest, right? It's not. I get why they've done it. You know, we can't have what happened between Zarco and Morbidelli. Like, fuck it. Like, Rossi and Maverick are so lucky to be still fucking alive, like, with that crash, you know. And so, like, you can't have that. But again, you know, I think one of the things that I didn't notice,
and there's something if that's right. If you crash if going into it, you actually still slide across the path of the riders coming in behind you.
Well, you actually kind of go off so before you're going into the chicane, you go off left. So if you are going to crash, you will go left. You won't go to the right hand. You shouldn't be going to the right hand side. It's only if your banks have already banked right, but you will go straight. Maybe that's actually I don't know what the particular reason was, but you know, I don't see them. They're never going to get rid of that racetrack. Firstly, because it's home ground of KTM, and secondly, because it's owned by Red Bull, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
not saying get rid of the track, just you know.
Yeah, but I don't think they can just change the track just for. MotoGP doesn't have to say the stature of Formula One to get that. Now, saying that though, I did notice that, and I have never seen it before. I've never seen him do it before, but Carmelo Espinosa dressed in traditional Austrian attire.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Normally he has his slacks and his jumper and his shirt on. He's standing to attention like a soldier. But today he was in a full set of Austrian getup, which I thought was interesting. Mm-hmm. I also thought it was very interesting that his son came out and said that Carlos said that, I think it's his son. I'm not sure. He has the same surname, so they're related somehow. That there's only going to be 11 teams or 22 slots next year if BMW are. Now, I didn't do a video on this. That was someone else saying, someone else saying that buying Suzuki data, but sure, why would you buy that? It's completely out of fucking date. Like,
that's what I thought. It's not the exact same thing. I was like, well, that doesn't do.
But no, look, where I was looking at it was, okay, they're saying that, and realistically, that's not going to happen. Like, if a manufacturer comes in and says they want to commit to MotoGP for 10 years, they're going to find a fucking slot for them, right? They're going, let's go up to 24. I think it's the principle of, let's just take it away, and then that makes it more valuable and worth it. Just mean that now that they're, how to say, if something is there and you can have it anytime you want it, it's not important. When it's not there, you're going to want it. So,
somebody wants money in their pocket before they get phased out.
Oh yeah. Basically, so
but it wouldn't even make sense for them to come in right now. It would make sense more in 27.
Yeah, they're coming in 27. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
they'll start now. They'll start the development
program. I don't know actually on that, Jake. You see, I think
it makes sense.
I think there's a restriction. I know there's one in Formula One, but I think there's a restriction for 2026 that there be no development of the engines on the current spec of bikes from 2026 on. So this is what I was mentioning a while ago, is that I reckon Ducati will do the GP25 till maybe till Misano, and then they will use what they've got next for the next season. And they will be putting all their stuff. So I don't think you can actually start the development until 26. Does that make sense?
In the case of BMW, that's what concessions work, because they're a new team starting up. They should be allowed. That's what the whole.
Yeah, but they won't get the concessions to start a year early on development. They will get the year, and then they will get concessions once they have started the season.
Okay.
So I think, but what I think is going to happen in 27, concessions will be. Everyone will be put into Class D, I would think, and then midpoint of the season they regrade everyone, and then we'll see where the ball lands. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully, Liberty is sitting there going, we don't want to come in here, and this is with companies now, they don't want to come in there like ball busters, and they're just letting this thing slide and going, listen, in the back room they're going, listen, we'll straighten this shit out once Dorn is gone. We'll phase them out, and then we'll come in and
well, look, we all know that the main leadership in Dorna will be phased out over the course of time. Right? They did that in Formula One. The problem with the likes of Liberty though and those is that if you look at Formula One, there's a toxic relationship between the Formula One management, i.e. Liberty, and the FIA, who are the sports governing body. And that relationship is completely toxic. Like, I mean, absolutely toxic. So you look at the whole Andretti Formula One thing that's going on at the moment, right?
They blocked them, right?
Formula One, yeah. So kind of it.
Isn't FIM supposed to be a separate entity from FIA?
It is, but the FIM controls, say, whether there's 22 or 24 on the grid, right?
Yeah.
And they opened up for new spots, and they had proved Andretti, that they had the backing, they understood the technical regulations, they had this and they had that and the other. And then it was up to the FOM, but the FOM already said that, look, we don't want any more teams in the championship. Do you know what I mean? It's our championship to market. We don't want any more teams. There's a commercial agreement there already with the teams. So let's just say,
but that's the same thing that's going on now, though, isn't it? It's the same. Like they're saying that BMW. I'm kind of switching it a little bit, but they're saying that BMW, you can't start your own team. You have to buy a team.
Well, yeah, it's slightly different, right? Because there is still two places. Like Formula One can still have another 2 cars on the grid. Do you know what I mean? They have 10 teams at the moment. They can go up to
12
or whatever it is, or they have 11, and they can go up. They can add another 2 cars to the grid. But what they have to redo in this, and the FOM have to redo, is they have to redo like a Concord agreement, which is agreement between the commercial rights holder and each and every team and whatnot, right? And no team there is going to turn around and say, okay, well, we're going to accept $50 million less because another team has come in, because the pie gets divided up between the teams.
Yep.
So
now, does that work the same? But if that's the FIA, that's the FIA.
No,
the
FIA. So
they don't have that pile,
but they do.
Oh, they do. Oh, I didn't know
they
that.
They do. So FIM and Dorna are 2 separate entities. So the contracts that they have with the teams is with Dorna and IERTA and that. But the FIM, all they do is make the regulations, and they're the sports governing body. So again, this is the kind down the path of this is that when a team signs up to the championship, they sign up with the commercial rights holder for the championship.
For certain things, stuff like that.
So what?
And CB, he's good for certain stuff like that, like the little knowledge of FIM.
I try to pull some stuff, but you got so much people putting out random stuff that
God, yes, I know.
It's hard to kind of navigate through it.
So basically, then, so what happens then is, like, I'm a new manufacturer and I want to join MotoGP. I actually go to Dorna, not the FIM. But as part of it, when I sign up to do the championship, I sign up to be governed technically by and sportingly by the FIM. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I run it within, so that's kind of the way it goes. So it will get messy, and that's my only worry about the championship. And with Andretti, because there was such a bad relationship with FIA and Formula One management, like, they've told the president of the FIA that you're not welcome, Joe. You don't need to be attending Formula One events. Do you know what I mean? So basically, fuck off, right? So, but that's the FIA,
that's weird though, because isn't Audi coming in? Audi
is coming in, but there's another space there for another team.
That's crazy. That don't make any sense though.
It does.
Porsche was going to come in. They were going to have
Porsche
and Audi was coming in.
Porsche and Audi were going to come in, but they had to buy existing teams. But there is 2 slots there for a car or for a team to come in. So Audi have bought Sauber Racing or Sauber Kick Racing or whatever it's called. Okay. And Porsche were supposed to buy Red Bull, but that fell apart when the contract realized that Germany wanted to make all the decisions over,
right?
And that wasn't going to fly. And then there was Andretti, who was going to add 2 cars to the grid. Now, the FIM then approved it, knowing that the Formula One management would not approve it. So it's now put Formula One management in a pretty shit position because the commercial rights owner is now United States based. Your government or your whoever, Congress or whatever, can now go in and is going after him for the anti-sporting laws.
Yeah,
and whatnot. So, but you can see that it was masterminded by your man in the FIA. Do you know what I mean? So there'll be murder over it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But saying that, a lot of people just don't want Andretti in it.
That's what it sounds like, which is crazy. It's Andretti. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he came in there with Cadillac. With Cadillac, at first they said it was going to be a new engine. Then it was just a sticker.
Yeah, it was rebadged engine. Yeah, rebadged Renault engine.
But on an up note, come December, the Motoplex and I are going to have a video of building my Aprilia RSV4. All kinds of goodies on there, so tune in for that.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, something built. We have all the salad box is going to be on there. That new tech for the rear end, and
nice
fork.
Add some wings on your swing arm.
All kind, everything.
Oh! Do you remember you were talking about Ducati wings?
Mm-hmm.
What time?
On a 25?
No. For the the aftermarket carbon wings that you can put on, and you were afraid the bike would fall over and it cost you $4,000. And what offer?
I bought a 19 because it was $6,000 difference, but I didn't want to have the thing tip over and fall and break a wing. Yeah.
So shout out to the guys in RPM Carbon. So I was looking there the other night for little carbon bits for my own bikes and whatnot. And I was like, there's no way they're $4,000. So I went on and I found original OEM style or OEM pure carbon, and you can decide what weave you want in it, whether you want it to be plain, whatever,
right,
or whether you want it forged carbon or whatever. And for the plain glossy carbon ones, $400 shipped.
Oh yeah, for the aftermarket one, but I wouldn't get if I was going to get,
And then I looked on eBay for the original plastic ones, and $175 for genuine.
Yeah.
For the genuine.
Yeah, I would go with plastic ones over the. Actually, I'd go with plastic ones over the carbon fiber. People don't realize carbon fiber has a shelf life.
It does, but so does a bike.
Well, you know what I'm saying, wise ass. The guy has a bike from 2007. He's telling me about shouldn't worry about shelf life.
Exactly. I don't keep it dry, keep it clean. You're fine.
Yeah. But carbon has a shelf life. Eventually, it gets brittle, and it gets even if you don't have it under
fatigue.
Even if you don't have it, even if you don't have it under UV, okay, it goes bad. But what I can understand is when people have put carbon fiber on engine cases. One, it hits, it breaks, shatters into a million pieces. Two, carbon fiber doesn't like heat either. So when you put it over your engine, it dries out instantly.
That's probably why on that 25 they didn't go carbon, is because that thing puts off a ton of heat and it's gonna fatigue, and then people are gonna complain. Hey, these wings are changing colors and breaking. We need to replace them. So
maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I just thought it was interesting anyway.
Well, with the Ducati, they have their exhaust has a cover, and it's a black plastic, and then people replace that with carbon fiber, and then they go, "Oh, it's went bad all instantly, almost." A year later, it's all dried out, and it's no shit. It's carbon fiber. That's the cost. What do you think it's going to do?
That's probably a nightmare for these manufacturers to put carbon fiber on these. I know they do them for the wheels. They do carbon fiber wheels.
So it's funny that you say it, because I was looking to buy the.
You were buying a Ducati.
No, I was looking to buy the belly pan for the R1 in carbon.
Mm-hmm.
If you know the reason why. Obviously, if you decat an R1, it looks pretty shit that the pipe comes straight up and whatever. But you can buy a carbon. Well, you can buy it in plastic too if you want to. But you can buy a carbon under belly pan part that goes on to the OEM ones, so it uses something.
You ever think of the carbon composites?
Yeah.
Okay.
$1,700 they want for it.
Ow! How much was it with the RPM?
8 something.
Really? Okay.
But like again, like and I know what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, right? But like when you're putting aftermarket carbon parts onto your bike, you're buying them and you're like, I know I'm going to have to change them back to the OEM. I know it, Jody. Like,
oh, you know it, but a lot of people don't. They think it's going to last. They think it's carbon since it's tough and it's.
I have the original. I have my OEM.
Oh, look at that.
Yamaha. These sit by the tank, but I obviously replaced them with carbon. You know what I mean? But I know I'm going to replace them. They're not designed to think. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. On that bombshell, I suppose we'll end up today. Thank you very much, gents, for joining. Thank you to everyone as well for always listening and putting up with us. I'll try to edit this one properly.
Oh, my Indian impressions are not going to be there, huh?
Well, YouTube could take that out. Yeah.
YouTube do it.
Yeah. Well, last week, he fucking distracted me while I was editing after last week, and I was in such a rush to get to the pub that I put on a picture that I was supposed to reduce in size to cover up this thing that's on the top right of the screen, and I left it as one big fucking picture and went to the pub.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, but it's all
and then I was severely hungover the next day, and I was like. And then people were commenting on it, and I was like, "Oh, it's like I can't even face the computer now. I'll get the gogs." So anyway, on that bombshell, peace out, everyone. Happy Sunday, happy Monday, wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you all again next week.
At least we're unexpected,